Alright, I'm getting ready to put this tail light on. I just bought a brand new one. I think it was like $10 or something. I bought 2 of them. I think this torch is out of butane. If I'm even in frame, I don't know if I am or not. I had problems with it last weekend. Could use a heat gun, that's probably the proper way, but this works. I usually this torch must be fucked up. It's shut off now, I think. I unbolted the one side of the toolbox so I could do this and get the wires fed. Actually got a little too much wire sticking out of this one. I hope all this stuff's in frame. I usually put a connection here just with a spade. That way if I ever have to pull the toolbox off for anything, I don't have to unbolt the light. And I'll have to make sure that the wire's tied up enough that it's not going to get into the transmission with whatever length I got now. And I got one of my rear wheels painted. I just put clear on it tonight. And the other one's in primer now. I'm letting the primer dry. Thing's hot. did check last night, make sure the switch worked, and I got voltage back there into the headlights. It's not going to be grounded now, so I'll have to run a little jumper to ground it maybe temporarily, just to test it. I'm not going to have a good ground like that. I don't know if I have any kind of good ground back here. Probably not. Well, he's not on either. Which I don't know if that needs to be on. Yeah, there we go. I might have to take some of the paint off of this where the bolt goes through. And I don't know if I said this in one of the last videos, but I ordered, my tires are here, my rear tires. And there's the lens for it. Alright, I gotta go find the hardware for the taillight and I'll turn this back on. Alright, I found the hardware for the light. Well, I'm getting good ground. That's brighter than the older ones. I've never bought a new one. These have more modern bulbs in them, not anything crazy like LED, but this is like a 168 or a 194 bulb, and the other ones had the twist style. I can't remember what the number is for those. That's one more little thing off the list. And this is the wheel I just cleared. And here's the wheel I'm working on painting now. The primer dried, so I went ahead and put the first coat of white on. I'm gonna do a second coat of white once that dries, and then clear. I don't know if I'm gonna have time for clear tonight or not. I'm gonna have to stay over here for a while out in the garage because I gotta keep the heat on, and I don't want to leave the heat on when I leave it on all night, but I want to leave it on for a while. Just trying to get some of the small stuff done while I wait for the paint. And I started getting the grill painted last night, the inside. I'm still gonna have to tape off around the headlight area and do the black, but coming along. And I got the rest of the oil I need for the transmission. And there's the grill corner, that's already done. I'm gonna grab some bolts from work tomorrow so I can finish putting the final bolts in for the, I'm missing a bolt on each side for that. And I gotta put a couple more bolts in the frame as far as that's concerned. And I already got my tires down at work, so I'm hoping, today's Wednesday, hoping these wheels get a couple days to dry real good. And then Friday I'll take these, I'll stop Thursday night, which is tomorrow I guess, pick the wheels up, take them to work, put the tires on, and my air filter should be here tonight, so I can button that up. I gotta get a flat washer from work, big fender washer, pretty big with a small hole. I should be able to wrap that up. And the headlights, that won't take much to do. I already have two good headlights once I get the grill finished. I can't remember what I left off on in the last video, but I got the belt adjusted better. It's coming along. Because it makes a big difference once you got painted wheels on. It makes it look way better. Hey, yeah, I got my decals in. I didn't bring them with me though, they're in the house, but I got the high-low decal. It was missing one of the hood decals because it's got one on each side. It's a different emblem, it's the old style because this has the wood grain and all on it, so it's the early ss14 because the other ss14s have the this style. But anyway, it was missing one of those decals, so I messaged the company, click it and stick it, and they're sending out another one. And I got the decal for the front of the grill. And I ordered I think it was a decal for the sickle mower. I was thinking about maybe putting that on my tote box on the front of it. I don't know if these black ones had decals on them, on the front of them. I don't know if they had them or not. Because I know the older white ones I've seen, they had decals on the front. But I figured it'd be cool with a black and white decal. I'll put it on the middle of the tote box in the front. But unless I get into anything else tonight, this is gonna wrap up this portion. I gotta go move some stuff, help somebody move some stuff this weekend, so I'm not gonna have all day Saturday and Sunday like I normally use to make a video. That's why I figured I'd bring this stuff tonight and at least video me putting that on. But I should have enough time, as long as I get my tires on Friday, I should have enough time to at least put the wheels on it. And that'll make it look a lot better, getting rid of those rusty wheels. Here, I'll add this little short clip in. This is the light I got. It's a Peterson V102R, which is red. The R is red. I think you can get them in orange or something else too. But figured I'd add this little clip in for anybody that's looking for their tail light. Alright, here's a Thursday night update. I got the parking brake decal on, the high-low shifter decal, and I got my air filter in, but somebody cut the stud off, so I'm gonna have to get a new one of those before that'll work. And I'm still waiting on the pre-filter. And I got all the bolts that were missing in the frame in and tight. And I just loaded up my wheels. I'm going to put the tires on tomorrow. So next clip will probably be me putting the new wheels and tires on. And I think about the last coat of white on the back of the grill. So I'll let this dry overnight and then clear it tomorrow after work. And then I'll have to turn it over, and I don't know which I'm going to paint first. I got to paint around the headlights black. Then I started painting the grill mesh. But I got to tape off so I can paint the black, and then the white, I don't know which way I'm doing it yet. I'll probably paint the black first and then do the white. So might be done this weekend depending on what all I get into. And then I got to mess with the hood. And then that's pretty much it. I still got to put oil in the rest of the oil in the transmission, but I think that's all I have to paint until I paint my wheel weights. I decided I'm going to use these outer ones because these are rusty and the ones I'm getting aren't in the original paint, so I'm going to put those on the 18.6. I'm going to pull these off and paint these, and they're going on the back of this. And then I got a 3-point hitch under the toolbox that I have to paint to put on it. Alright, that's going to end it for this clip. Next clip will be me putting the wheels and tires on. Alright, it's Friday night. I just got home from work. I got my tires mounted on my painted wheels. So I'm going to throw this up and put those on. And last night I put another coat of white on the back side of the grill. That came out alright. I gotta clear that, and then I can flip it over and do the other side. And I'm probably gonna paint the black first, so I have to tape all this off back here so none of the black comes through. But I'm gonna throw this up and get these wheels put on. My wheel weights also showed up. He must have sent me another set, not the ones he sent me a picture of. But so I'm not worried about pulling those off and painting those because these are rusty on the other side. So I'll just paint these. And I'm going to pull this wheel off now. And I did end up getting a couple runs in these wheels, but it is what it is. It's getting a set of wheel weights anyway, so the only thing you're going to be able to see is the outer edge. I'm only putting 3 bolts in right now until I find some other ones that are better shape. I cleaned up these because I only had 2 holding it on to begin with. And there it is, looking good. It makes such a big difference when you have new tires. Just looks way better. Next thing I'm going to do, I got a piece of all thread. I'm going to make a new stud for the air cleaner stuff. And I'm still waiting on the pre-filter for the air filter, but it's supposed to be here, I think, the 18th. And I also purchased a pretty hard to find attachment It should be here either right before Christmas or shortly after, and I'm excited about that. I gotta go pick that up. But I'm gonna work on getting those weights prepped. I want to get the grill finished first, but those are on the list. The hood shouldn't be too bad. The inside I didn't do much work on yet. I already primered this because I already had to straighten it. The inside needs to be prepped real good, but that shouldn't take too long. And I think I showed this last night, but I put the high-low decal on and the parking brake decal. And I like these tires. They're Max Auto 23 1050 12s, and I have the same set on my 67 Super 12, and they seem to be a little bit bigger than the D stones that they sell. At least that's kind of what it looks like to me. They're more true to size. Like on my 16.6 that's in West Virginia, it's got Carlisle True Powers, and those are way bigger than either one of these, but these Max Autos seem to be a little bit more true to size, which I like. Fills the fender out a little bit. Next project's going to be this all thread for this air cleaner. It's just a piece of 1/4 20 all thread. It should thread right down in here. Obviously it's way too long, but I give myself a little extra in case I gotta change up setups. If you can see all that. I'm just mocking this up so I can cut the rod the length. Speaking of that, I hope I have something over here I can cut it with. By the time I had this on top, that'll be about what we're sitting at. Which I don't know if this is 100% the right filter or not. I kind of just went off of what somebody in one of the Facebook groups said. I just looked back through some things and searched Briggs air filter. I guess, yeah, I mean, it makes sense that it should have a cover up to there. That way air still gets in, but it's also somewhat covered. I don't know if it's supposed to be a little bit shorter or not, but I'm just going to go ahead and mark it probably about here, give myself some extra. I can always cut it down more if I'm not happy with how it looks or something. So I'm going to go ahead and mark that. I don't know, I guess I'll call it about there. I can always cut it down more. And I got some new wing nuts. I tried to steal the piece out of my SS14, but that's got fine thread on the bottom where it goes threads into the carb. I'm just going to use a Sawzall to cut it because That's the easiest thing I have access to right now. And I'll take this over here. I just wanted to try to clean that up a little bit. I'm probably going to put that end down the bottom and leave the fresh end up at the top. And I had a nut on there and it threads right through, so I didn't mess the threads up. The threads are good on it. That's really important if you don't have a piece of hull thread and you're cutting threads. You always put the nut on first. If I can do this way, if I can find the hole. Nope. I don't even know if you could see any of that. I didn't realize how the camera was set up. And I'm not sure, but I'm assuming this bottom, the nut is supposed to keep this from unscrewing. Kind of like a lock nut, I guess. That way when you unscrew the air cleaner, it doesn't unscrew from the body. Take the wing nut off. I've seen some that had like a nut on the air cleaner and then a nut on the top holding the cover on. I'm just gonna put one on top. And then I'll just have to put the pre-filter on when I get that in the mail. Yeah, I gotta help move some stuff tomorrow, so I don't know if I'm gonna be working on this a whole lot. I might try to get that grill cleared on the backside tonight. because I think that's the next step. I'm going to get the grill on it finished, and then I'll do the wheel weights and then the hood, and I'll do the 3-point last. Alright, a little Saturday night update. I got the front of the grill primered. I'm going to do the black around the headlights tomorrow, hopefully. I was moving stuff all day. I got a bunch of tools. My uncle passed away a couple months ago, and we went up and started cleaning out the house. So I got a bunch of tools, and I got this bolt organizer, 5/16 quarter, some quarter 20 screws and nuts. I got washers. I got a bunch of 3/8 bolts, some bigger washers, flywheel screen bolts, intake and carburetor bolts, spark plugs, set screws and keyways for the axle hubs and the brake things, tie rods, 3-point hitch hardware, wheel bolts, some random tractor stuff. Got 3 things of springs, carriage bolts, 3-point pins. And I got E-clips and snap rings I'm getting ready to label and put in. I had some of that stuff in here. Also getting that cleaned out. I still have some bolts in there I gotta go through, but I spent most of the day cleaning out his house. I got a bunch of files and bunches from him. Some C-clamps and socket sets, and I got some pipe wrenches. I had some of these, but I got some pipe wrenches. There's a bunch of files. He did a lot of woodwork, so some of the stuff I'm not gonna need, but there's still some stuff there we gotta get. But I got bags full of tools. I don't think these will fit in there, so I'll probably just lay those up there. But I'd like to get at least the black done on the grill around the headlights. That way I can tape off. I'll probably wait a week just because I don't want to mess anything up. And it's not the warmest. I've run the heat when I'm here, but when I go in the house, I don't run it. So I'll probably wait, tape the black off next weekend and spray the front of the grill white and clear that. When I'm done with the white, I'll pull the tape off and clear the black also. And I don't think I showed you guys, I might have, but I got the decals. I was missing one of the hood decals. I might have showed this, I don't think I did. That's a Haben sickle mower decal. I was thinking about putting it on the front of the tote box. And I'm missing one of the hood decals. And they'll go there. They're supposed to be sending out the right one. There's the one for the grill. I'm not putting this on because that's not even correct for what it is. And that isn't either because it's an early model ss14. It's got the wood grain decals. But I got that for the early model hood sticker and the grill sticker. And then I just got a random high-low shifter sticker that I liked and the older style parking brake sticker that's on the side. But I already got the decals. And I ordered some, I'll put that stuff away later. I ordered some stuff that's like the original grip. At least I think it is. I ordered it from Home Depot. That should be here this week. And I can cut those out and glue them down. It's supposed to rain tomorrow, so I might take this out and take it for a first drive after I fill up the transmission. Alright, it's gonna end tonight. I'll record some tomorrow what I get into. Alright, it's Sunday morning now. The weather's not that great out, but I did tape off and get the black sprayed for around the headlights. I still got to put a second coat, and I got to make sure I get the edges. I don't care about this little bit of black overspray. When I tape the black off in about a week, I'm going to let it dry a week. Just be a little extra cautious because it is spray paint, so it's not automotive paint or anything. And then once I do that, I'll just scuff up with Scotch-Brite and get the black overspray off. That way there's no inconsistency in the color of the white, because everything else is a light primer. And my pre-filters came in. I guess I can see if those are right real quick. Still a mess in here from what I was doing last night. It got pretty late. I didn't feel like finishing it. I gotta clean up a bunch of stuff still. But according to the internet, this is the correct pre-filter. I need to order another air filter for the ss14. Because the kit I bought came with 2 pre-filters, so this is a genuine Briggs air filter. It wasn't that expensive, but I didn't feel like buying 2 in case they were wrong. So now that I know it'll work, I gotta order one for the ss14. It's a little crooked. I just need to shorten that spark plug wire so it's not in the way. I didn't get as much done this weekend as I would hoped, but it is what it is. Probably getting ready to fill up the transmission the rest of the way. I think I have 3 or 3.5 quarts in it. I gotta pour the rest in. Pretty sure I left the shifter bolt loose. I might have tightened it. Because the easiest way to do it is with the transmission out. But you can pull that one of the 2 front bolts for the shifter. You can get down in there and pull those. And I usually use, it's a flexible funnel. I don't know how well you can see it over there, but it's bent over the side of that thing. I use zip ties and zip tie it up here back on the back side of the seat, and then run it down and curl it in and just pour a little bit at a time. That's the way I figured the easiest way to do it. But if that's kind of boring, but I might show me filling it up. Here's the fill plug. The drain plug's like straight down from this on the bottom. It's easier to do this with the wheel off, but I just had it out, so I'm not. It's easier just to jack it up, pull the wheel off, and do it like that, but I'm gonna get my zip ties ready. Can't remember, I usually need 2 or 3. And since I have a pan seat, it's got holes in it, so I usually just run them through the hole. I'm just going to connect 2 together run through there for now. I might have to add another one. I can't remember exactly. And this is my funnel of choice. Yeah, I'm gonna need another one. And it sits in there pretty well. And then if this is long enough, because I don't know if you can tell, but it's down in the transmission pretty good, and that'll just hang the funnel there. And I already pulled the bolt out of the shifter, so. And what you really want is you want it at the bottom of this 90-degree elbow, and it takes it very slow. A lot of the times I'll just pour a pretty good pour in it and then just go do something. With the shifter bolt out, it works a lot easier, but it still kind of sucks, because then it'll start coming up out of here if you pour it too fast. And this is just 30 weight non-detergent. Usually I just go to Tractor Supply and buy like a 5-gallon bucket of it, because I have so many tractors. And I wouldn't be putting the good Valvoline stuff in it, but that's what I got, and that's what I already started putting in there, so that's what I'm going with. I don't know if you can see, it backs up. It takes a while to drain back down in there. That's like one of the most top things in the Sears groups on Facebook. There's people complaining about filling these up. That and asking how to remove the steering wheels. If you know, they suck. I've started to figure out how to get the later model ones off. Newer ones. It's in one of my, I think the video I did when I dash swapped the 18.6, because it's got threaded holes in the center of it, so I usually just take a bolt and run all the way flush, get rid of the washer and all, because the head of the bolt I believe will fit right through the center of the steering wheel. It's a 5/16 bolt if I remember correctly. And then I just take an air hammer and put it on the head of the bolt and drive it down through, drive the shaft through. Because it's hard to use the air hammer on the older ones without the bolt, because you just end up sliding all around or messing up, so it's harder to go through the steering wheel. The other way I've done is on the older ones, you grind the weld off the bottom of the gear on the bottom of the steering shaft, and you can press the shaft up, out, and through, and then put it in like a press, hydraulic press, and press the wheel off the shaft. I've done that a bunch too. I actually did that with this tractor. And I don't have a welder, so the guy up the street just welds the gears back on for me. But if you have a welder, you can do that yourself. Steering wheel removal is probably the hardest process if you're going to be taking a dash off. Well, that probably took about 5 minutes and 1 quart's finally in it. And so far, knock on wood, it's got, like I said, 3 or 3.5 quarts of oil in it already, and I haven't seen any drips out of it because I replaced all the seals in it, if you watched that video on my channel. That's the first one I replaced all the seals. I've replaced axle seals and stuff on it, and this is the first one I repainted that I actually resealed the motor, pulled all that stuff apart. It's funny, I paid the least amount of money I think for any of the other tractors I've ever bought, and I put a lot of money into it. It was rough. If you look back far enough on my channel, you can find it. I guess it was a year ago. I think in the thumbnail it's a reddish looking, red and white tractor. It was missing the hood and the grill. And I made a video when I went and got it. I didn't even see it on Marketplace. Somebody I buy a lot of stuff from in Virginia, he sent it to me because it was like 5 minutes up the road from my house. And I just went the next day and got it. He said somebody else was going to come from Virginia, but it turns out he actually, the guy I got it from, went to school with my boss where I work at my shop. Because when I went to get it, I was like, this guy looks familiar, and then I remembered he stops in the shop all the time because he knows a bunch of people down there that work there. And sometimes this funnel will seal off pretty good, so once I know I have about 5 quarts in it, I'll lift up on this, because sometimes it'll seal it up too good, and then you'll just keep on pouring it in until it's up into the funnel, and you'll make a big mess. And next video, I should be taking it on a test drive. It's wet and nasty out today. It's supposed to rain pretty hard here in a little bit, so I'm not going to take it out. It's all foggy, but that should be an upcoming video. It should be in the next one, unless I get the attachment I talked about earlier on in this video. It's pretty hard to find. Depends on what happens first. It's getting shipped through fast and all, so all I got to do is go and get it. But Christmas is, I guess, 2 weeks away, that Monday, so I don't know what their schedule's going to be like, if I'm going to get it before or after Christmas. So that'll determine on what video I make next. If I didn't have to move all that stuff yesterday, I would have got the Suburban 12 out, the orange one. I got to try to pull that pulley off. I'll probably just pull the belt guard off the front, the PTO cover, loosen the set screws, and then push the clutch in to release the belt pressure. And I'll try to slide the belt off the back side of the pulley stack when I pull it off. So I'm pretty sure the keyway's broken and the motor's not blown up, but it sounded pretty bad when I had it running. And I tightened down the set screws, but the pulley came loose as soon as I did that again. And the end of the keyway part at the end, it was sticking out a little bit. It feels like it's broken. So I'll have to pull that apart here soon and get that fixed. If not, I got another motor I can put in it, but I'd rather not have to do that. See how long this is. I don't know if I'm gonna board. It's already 10 minutes. I don't think I'm gonna record much more of this. This video is already gonna be pretty long because it's like a couple, I don't know, 4 days worth of random stuff. I don't know if you can see down in there, but I think it's leaking out. Either I poured too quick or it's full. I just got a pile of rags under there. Let's see what happens when I do this. Didn't come running out like it's all the way full, but here's another tip. If you can't get your hand down in there to see how much oil's in there, you could use a zip tie and just bend like a 90 on it and stick it down in there. I think it's pretty much there. I mean, there might be some residual from running down in there, but yeah, it's pretty much full, which is probably about right. I'll pour a little bit more in just in case. When it starts running right out, then it's probably is full. And if you just picked up a tractor that sat outside for a long time, this is probably the first step you should do after you make sure it runs, is drain the transmission, because the boots around the shifter leak and then they get all milkshaked. And here's another tip: if you're going to pick one up that's been sitting outside and it's in the middle of winter, take a torch with you, because I had to do that. I learned my lesson, because when I went and first I got 5 of these from the same guy, and after I did that, I had a horrible time trying to load these things. It was freezing cold and snowy. But then I went and got one, the ST12, and I was prepared. I brought a torch so I could heat up the transmission so it would roll. Yeah, it's all the way up almost to the bottom of the threads. So that's good. Now if I can find what I did with the fill plug, I can put that in. Alright, I'm gonna end this clip now. It's already too long, but